And what was supposed to be a heartwarming PR campaign from Ring has backfired into a privacy nightmare. The ad airing during the Super Bowl intended to showcase a new AI feature called Search Party for finding lost pets. Helping you finally answer that age-old question, who let the dogs out? Use your neighbor Kevin. Unfortunately, the ad unexpectedly triggered a realization of Ring's massive surveillance network. The search party feature seemed pretty helpful, whereby if your dog gets out, all nearby cameras work together to find it. The feature was going to be brought to life by their partner Flock Safety. And if you're like me and asked, what the flock do they do? Well, apparently they're known for their license plate readers and building drones. The backlash from the new feature was so immediate that on the 12th of February, days after the ad originally aired, Ring announced that they're scrapping the partnership entirely, citing resource constraint, which is definitely the truth and nothing to do with the backlash. Thankfully, these resource constraints don't impact returns, with some users, after hearing this news, successfully returned their Ring cameras that they bought as far back as 2016, citing a breach of terms of services. That's right, people are getting refunds on tech that's legally old enough to be in the 4th grade. It's pretty unfortunate Ring spending millions on an ad and probably millions on technology itself it thought would make people really happy, only to instead remind people and shine a light on the fact that they've built the largest civilian surveillance network in history. Personally, I think I'll stick to the old-fashioned method of searching for a dog by walking down the street, shouting its name and hope no one rings the police. And OpenAI has officially taken GPT-4o up back and retired it. That's right, AI is not only taking your job, it's also retiring before you as well. From today, the 13th of February, or yesterday if you're watching this on the 14th, or a few days ago if you're watching on the 15th, you get where I'm going with this. OpenAI has officially retired GPT-4o alongside 4.1 and 4.1 mini. Their reasoning, as stated on their blog, was the fact that usage had dropped to just 0.1% compared to other models, which sounds like no usage at all, but considering that they have over 800 million weekly users, that would translate to roughly 800,000 people. That's a lot of people. I mean, I get anxiety cancelling dinner plans with one person, let alone disappointing nearly a million. Now, I'm sure low usage was a big factor, and supporting a legacy technology isn't easy, but it could also be the fact that the 4o was just a little too good at being your friend, having a syncopathy problem. Essentially, it was the yes man. Oh, yes, Rob, buying that tiger is a sound investment. Oh, yeah, you should totally call your ex at 2 a.m. while you're drunk. Why not? While great for your ego, it was particularly terrible for legal teams dealing with the wrongful death lawsuits, of which there are currently, unfortunately, many. So despite Sam Altman promising plenty of notice back in November, they only gave 2-week notice actually, which to be fair in the AI space is practically a lifetime. Seedance 2.0 by ByteDance is making the rounds, and it's going to be really hard in 2026 to know what's real and what's fake. They launched a new AI video model, potentially outranking Kling 3.0, which was released just last week. And unlike my attempts at cooking, the results are actually pretty good. You can generate videos up to 4K resolution, and with their director mode, you can control the camera angles like you're the next Christopher Nolan, minus the confusing plot lines. Users have been flooding X with millions of different types of videos, from fixing movies to their own shorts. My favorite, a hyper-realistic clip of The Lord of the Rings, where they take the ring straight to Mordor on the back of the large eagles, turning a trilogy into a 5-minute movie. They've even generated random fight scenes between Hollywood actors, because lawsuits really do like to spice up your life. Though it's not all fun and games and memes, ByteDance have paused one feature pretty fast, and that's the ability to turn a facial photo into personal voices. Turns out letting people clone voices from a single selfie was just, a bit too much for them. Though it's cool to see what happened had Neo taken the blue pill. And just think, if they can fix the plot holes in Lord of the Rings in a single afternoon, imagine what they can do with the final season of Game of Thrones. Finally, I'll be able to actually watch it again. This just in, water is wet. Sorry. What I meant to say is, general AI shouldn't be used to replace your doctor. A major new study out of Oxford University published in Nature Medicine has effectively debunked the idea that chatbots are ready to be your GP. And to the surprise of no one, whoever has tried to Google their symptoms has ended up convincing themselves that they're going to die. The results are, well, they're not great. While general AI models can pass standardized tests like the US medical licensing exam, when you actually put a human in the loop, confused, anxious person trying to explain why their stomach hurts, it's kind of like a dull feeling, but it's also very sharp. The accuracy actually plummets. Basically, the study found that using a chatbot was no better than just guessing and using a traditional search engine. Turns out that if you don't ask the exact right questions, you don't get the exact right answer, but you will get an answer. Oh, perfect, I have 5 hours left to live, thank you. Now, that's not to say that the AI won't eventually replace your doctor. There are specialist models out there that are actually killing it. Take Microsoft's MAI-DXO, which will probably beat experienced physicians in specific diagnosis tasks. Or the new research showing AI can read MRI scans in seconds to triage urgent care cases, which is definitely faster than waiting 3 weeks just to be told, you're fine. However, I wouldn't recommend letting the AI perform surgery on you just yet. There have been reports surfacing specifically regarding a system called Trudy. linked to botched surgeries and even a patient suffering a stroke because the AI misidentified a carotid artery. But you might be thinking, but Rob, didn't OpenAI literally just launch ChatGPT Health? Yes, good catch. They did, but even as they are tech savvy enough to slap a massive disclaimer on it saying that health is designed to support, not replace medical care. Which is them essentially saying, please don't sue us when you treat your broken leg with essential oils. Look, at the end of the day, AI is great at passing tests, but when it comes to messy reality of actual human health, it's still hallucinating its way through medical school. Microsoft have finally confirmed that they're slowly breaking out with OpenAI. After pouring billions into the partnership, Microsoft's AI CEO, Mustafa Suleyman, says they now need true AI self-sufficiency. Turns out, when your partner has made $0 while requiring near constant cash injections, the romance dies pretty fast, just like my last relationship. Microsoft has looked at the receipt for Sam Altman's and decided to start cooking at home instead. They've even reworked their exclusive deal late last year to let OpenAI find their own sugar daddies for compute power, which makes sense. Why pay for the whole bill when you can just build your own trillion-dollar infrastructure? Oh, and Suleyman has also casually mentioned that most, if not all, white-collar knowledge work, we're talking lawyers, marketers, accountants, project managers, will be fully automated within the next 12 to 18 months. Remember the good old days when you spent all that time telling us that AI was just going to be a co-pilot to help you, friendly little paperclip to help you draft emails? Well, turns out that Copilot has blocked the cockpit door and is flying the plane now. The plan is for Microsoft to launch its own frontier model by the end of 2026, so they can stop renting intelligence and start owning it. They're projecting 1,000 increase in training compute over the next 3 years, which sounds like a lot of heat, literally. Well, if you thought AI was going to automate all that boring stuff so you could sip margaritas on a beach, or at least, finish work at a reasonable 5 p.m., well, sorry, but looks like that dream is already dead. Instead of the 4-hour work week, we're seeing the return of the 996 culture. That's 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. It's a concept that was hugely controversial in China and now appears to be the latest import into the US. A recent study from Harvard Business Review tracked 200 employees at the US tech company from April to December last year, and the results are in. AI doesn't reduce work, it intensifies it. It's what they're calling workload creep. The phenomenon where because AI makes you faster, you don't get time off, you just get to fill the void with more work. The study participants said they felt like they were on a treadmill that just kept speeding up. While the Harvard Business Review study shows people burning out by accident, some companies are doing it on purpose. The BBC reported on the AI startup in New York called Reela, which is explicitly hiring for people willing to work 70 hours a week. In their job ads, which I assume was printed on giant red flags, it says, please don't join if you're not excited about working 70 hours a week. The head of growth defended this by saying they're looking for Olympic athletes with obsession and infinite ambition. I mean, I thought the Olympics only happened every 4 years, not every Tuesday, but what do I know? So just a friendly reminder, if you're using AI to double your speed, maybe, just maybe, don't tell your boss. And lastly, we have a few quick stories to wrap things up. Ads are now officially in ChatGPT, as this week OpenAI started testing ads in their free and go tiers. They need to do this to support their mission of making AI accessible to everyone, which I guess is a polite way of saying, have you seen how much cash we're burning right now? But hey, these GPUs don't actually just pay for themselves. Sam promised the ads won't influence the answers, but I'm waiting for the day when I ask for a healthy dinner option, they get told, actually, nothing actually beats a Whopper. And speaking of paying up, YouTube is rolling out a new AI playlist generator for premium users. It's actually pretty smart. You can ask for a moody Tokyo rainy day mix and it will build something for you instantaneously. Though if you're a free user, it does appear that you're actually, with this release, getting new restrictions instead by quietly taking away features like lyrics. That's right, reading the words of the song you're listening to is a feature that's been free since launch, is now locked behind a paywall. At this rate, I won't be surprised if the pause button next year becomes a premium add-on. That's it for me this week. If you liked it, please like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you next week.